So this session, week number 2, this is your official recruitment campaign launch. See, the beauty about these 3 weeks series for recruitment and growth for your region, you're not going to have to wait till the end of the recruitment series to actually launch your campaign. Not at all. You're ready to launch week 2. That's today. Last week what we covered is we went through just a general kicking off your recruitment campaign. I gave you some tips on how to empower your branding through the My Profile section of your Promo Shop system. We also talked about leveraging your exit branded content, that you have available in the system. And this is by far the most surprising, portion of the system, because I speak to regional owners and broker owners, and I speak to a lot of exit associates. You see, oftentimes I'll talk to the broker owner or the regional owner, and many, many times the agent who's looking for some pieces to sponsor. There's a ton of content already created. And the reason why corporate has spent the time, and the resources or the headache to go in and create these pieces on your own. They recognize that you have more things to do with your time than to sit hours behind the computer trying to recreate, professionals at corporate who have the expertise to speak. They know the branding standards, and they're going to create it for you. And once it's in Promo Shop, it's all the things that you can do with it, which we discovered last week. We also started to talk about identifying your prospects and adding them to your contact manager easily. We're going to talk more about contacts that you have in your contact manager, and then we're also going to actually show you some examples on how to get your prospects into the system. Okay. And once you launch your recruitment campaigns, we're going to show you some other things that you probably had no idea, and I know this for sure. I'm going to share with you some details about your campaigns that can really help you empower yourself by focusing on your recruits who are paying attention to your marketing. Okay? That's a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and webinar today. We've got Jackie Pohl, who is on the call on behalf of Colleen Forbes in Florida, and we also have Fernando Campos. So I'm going to start with Fernando first. Fernando, I'm just going to unmute your line for a moment and welcome you to the call.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing for years, but basically I haven't used it because I've been trying something else. But this sounds like what I should have been using for a long time. So I'm very anxious and excited about how to use it effectively.
And you're not the only one that has that same story, Fernando. There's a lot of regional owners who have had access to it, but, they've not really leveraged it as much as Fernando's account live. And the purpose is because we want each of you that are anyone, whether it's a regional owner, a broker owner, or an exit associate. And here's why. In the My Profile section, there's always an opportunity, such as, I immediately see the email address has all lowercase. So what I'm going to do, Fernando, is I'm just going to go ahead and put some capitalization in here so that people can really sit realty.com/Arizona. All right, how does that look? So far, so good?
Good, looks good.
Okay, now, Fernando, I know that you are also involved in Facebook. And do you have other social media that you utilize as well?
Twitter.
Okay. Are you active on Twitter?
Google+.
Okay. So really quickly, while you're watching, Fernando, I'm going to just show you how you can add your social media onto your Promo Shop. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to open up a view, and anybody else who's on
social.
Okay. So when you go into Facebook and copy it, and then you'll want to go back into Promotion and then save it. All right? So you're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So anybody else on the call as well, if you have social media, include it in your marketing, and you can include that here using your Promo Shop system just by copying and pasting that Facebook URL and pasting it here into the My Profile section. Once you do, you can click on Save Profile. So that's something. Let's take a look. We're going to go into the group section to see all the different groups, because what we're seeing is that Fernando has, and there's no clients in this group. We're going to also choose coworker. And let's go into coworker, and we'll go to show contacts. Is just to talk to those on the call and let them know, look, if you've got groups in your database and they don't have any contacts in them, my recommendation would be to just, delete those groups, okay? So I know that he's got franchisees. I've taken those out just recently. We've got friends. Okay, so it looks like the majority of his contacts are under potentials. Let's go to show contacts. Okay, so there's 2. You've done some cleanup in your database. So
Right.
what that tells me, Fernando, a group. Now I'm going to tell you, your database will never be real estate too.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to keep client in there, and I would recommend that you go back and you put in some of those clients into that group. We're not going to delete it. How about coworker? Is that a group that we can delete that group?
No, you can delete that.
Okay, and then how about, let's see, how about family? Do you want that group to exist?
No.
Okay. And friends?
No.
Okay. Now the reason why this is important, let's go to delete. So we highlighted those 3 groups and we click delete. This is important because you want clarity in your database. Okay. Now here's something else that you can do too. Up at the top of the screen, you're going to see find a contact. Who does not belong in a group? And we'll click on search. The product is going to sift through all of the contacts that you have in your database, and it's going to identify however many contacts who, are not associated to a group. And this is something that's important to do on a regular basis because you want to make sure that everyone belongs to a special group. Okay, so right now it's going into the system, and it's going to show us all the different contacts that are not associated to a group. Now, if there's someone on the call who are watching today, if you've got a question as we go through, please make sure over on the right-hand side where you see chat that you click on chat and you type in a message. So hang tight. This will come up in just a second. And what we're also going to do is we have an email from Fernando sent me this morning with a list of some of his prospects, and we're going to show you how to bring them into the system too. Super easy to do. Let's see. We're just going to click on Contact Manager. Should come up. Fernando,
which one?
Do you know what group? Now, what it's done is I asked PromoShop to find all your contacts that are in your database right now who don't belong to a group. Do you know what group these people might fall into, or is it possible that they're going to be in multiple groups?
I really don't know.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for you, just to make it really simple. I'm going to, what it's done right now is it's identified 630 people. So I'm going to click on Check All, okay? And we're going to go over to the right-hand side where we're going to download this list of people for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to email it to you as an attachment. That way you can take some time, the companies they're with, phone numbers, so you've got a good, I want the same, Fernando's, no. And then we're going to save it. Let's go into Fernando's PromoShop account and let's put him in. So we're going to choose the Microsoft Excel. Do you see this okay on your screen? And what group do you want me to add those? And you can add them to that specific group, okay? So it's never too late to create a new group. The file is located. And it looks like it's Fernando's new. I'm wondering, let's go ahead and submit this. Okay, it needs to be a CSV. I thought it was, so let's make sure that we save this list. So we're going to go into, make sure we choose the right file, meaning at the top of the screen. So we're taking that Excel spreadsheet. What's really nice about that master Excel spreadsheet, Fernando, it automatically populates all the fields appropriately. So you don't, yeah, it's really cool. So you don't have to go in and find it. It already recognizes it. So it's going to be super easy for anyone else that fills in. That is, so you've got Ruben. So let's do this. This is interesting. I've not had it where it doesn't bring the contacts in. You've got the appropriate information. You've got their first name. Ah, okay. Here's why. In the first name, maybe. In the first name column, there's no one. So let's do this. Let's go to, okay, so that should work. First name, last name. All right, so we're going to click on Import Contacts up at the top. We're going to choose Microsoft Excel. We're going to go into Next. We'll choose Potentials. We'll choose the file. First, last, and email. Now here's something else that I would suggest. Only way that you're going to be able to connect with them. So, the campaigns that we have are going to also encourage you to make a phone call or schedule a meeting. All right, so if you only have an email, the only way for you to connect with them is going to be by email. If you include a phone number, so just some other opportunities. Now, as you can see, it's showing you the first 10 records. So if we were to import this right now, under last name, you see last name, email, and city, okay? So does that look like all the information you have about these contacts?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so we'll go ahead and accept it. So it's going to bring those people into the potentials group, okay? So if we go again into groups, and you'll see that you now have 12. Excellent, okay? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the recruitment campaigns that each of you on the call has access to, things that are already active. Now it looks like you had a campaign that was going. In this, it's called the Exit Promo Shop Franchise Sales Campaign. We'll walk you through it. It's got 7 activities, 10 total emails. His next piece that's going out to this audience is on October 8th, 2011. He's got 3 people associated to this campaign right now, okay? So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at that campaign and a couple others as well. So there's this portfolio. Let's open this with those prospects using this particular campaign. So you'll see here in just a second, there we go, the recruitment campaign, 14 total emails, no direct mail pieces, and 7 activities. Let's take a closer look. So this is how it would yourself to them. Or he might decide to leave that notification tomorrow, okay? Then 14 days later, the product of Promo Shop will automatically email the first piece out to his prospects, okay? The subject line will be, my mouse is a little jumpy. The first email, the next piece goes out. The next piece is called, the system is not going to detonate, okay? It's still going to continue. So whether he does the activities or not, the pieces will automatically be emailed. It's just a good suggestion to encourage him to do these types of activities so that it keeps them engaged with the prospects. You see, other potential franchisees, they get marketed to as well. Don't be mistaken, you're not the only one that's communicating to them. But what separates you from the competition is the type of activity that you're engaging as these pieces go out. And what I like about this campaign, there's 14 different, you can include other pieces as well. We can go ahead and click on Next Step. When we click on Next, this is where it's going to take us into our database, getting his database at the same pace that the participants are on. Okay, great. So basically here, just like the instructions will say, select your contacts to add to this campaign from your contact manager list on the left, right here. And then you'll want to click Save and Activate. So let's do that. Let's click on Groups, and we'll go to Potentials.
Potentials?
Now, Potential Prospects. You can do that. Follow the second. We'll just Save and Activate. Now, I want to make sure you guys can see it on your screen. It showed a quick glance of the contacts that we're bringing in, and now you'll see them all displayed on the right-hand side. At any time, Fernando can click on a particular contact, and he can decide. You can certainly do that. Just put a check mark next to their name and click Pause. Unpause it. You could just click on it again. If you want to remove that particular contact, just put a check mark next to their name and choose Remove Selected Contacts from Campaign. Now let's say this, what if one of your contacts decides to unsubscribe? The product automatically unchecks the opportunity for you to continue to market to them again, okay? So it's active and it's ready to go. All right, so now Fernando has in today. Tomorrow, Fernando will receive an introduction letter to his prospects that are in, his, what did you call it?
Potentials.
Potentials, thank you. To the Potentials group, okay? And then after, 14 days later, the next piece automatically goes out. Now here's something that might be of interest. So Fernando, you've got 2 campaigns going. This one is a previous campaign. Let's take a look at that. When we click on an existing campaign, we'll go into the contacts report. This is where it will be, very intriguing for any of you who currently have, campaigns in the system. Also, really didn't realize the power of, metrics in PromoShop. So what we see here is, say
Right.
you've got some information that's pretty valuable. You want to make sure that you don't miss them. He has no obligation to read them, or to continue receiving them, but just to let him know that you don't want him to miss the opportunity. The email that you have on file is, and then you can tell him what it is. And he might tell you, Fernando, that goes to an email I hardly check. Well, we already know that because he's not opening up any. But take a look at Jenny. Jenny's opened up 3 out of 12, so she's seen you. She's seen your marketing at least 3 times. But look at Don Smith. Don is incredibly attentive to your emails. He's paying attention because he's opened up every single one. Now, did you realize that Don Smith was as high of an interest in your emails as you thought?
Well, not be closing this first part of the year.
Yeah. So now, just to show you, he's really interested.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he's paying attention to your marketing. So this is a great way, for you to really, monitor the pulse, because when you do have time to recruit, which you might not have open opportunities very often, I just want to make sure that when you are recruiting using PromoShop, that you're focusing on the people first who are paying attention and the patient. I'm going to just mute your line. Do you have any other comments?
Realize that I should have been using this a long time ago. It's amazing what we have to use, but Annette, I don't know, a lot of people like me just didn't realize how simple it could be.
Oh, let's see. John is on the call. Last name is Diaz. He wants to know what your last name is. It's Fernando Campos. He's in Arizona. So, network with one another and, share successes and best practices, and also share with each other what's not working, But that I really do appreciate your participation, Fernando. 41.67%, is big. I would say at best, if you have maybe 10%, that's good. But 41.67, you've got a captive audience, and to the people that you have right now, these, you've got phenomenal open rates. Here's what I would encourage you to do: make sure that you go back into your campaigns.
Or put in the one we made today.
You'll see where it says add and remove contacts.
Yeah.
And then we've got
Ken Griswold.
Yep, Kent Griswold. And Jennifer, was it Jennifer? No.
No, this is the new one, right?
Yep. No,
I want to keep them in this new one.
Okay.
But I want to eliminate the old one.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's click on Return to Campaigns Home up at the top, and we'll go to your 2 campaigns. This one, we can go to Delete Campaign. You want to go ahead and delete it?
Yeah, that's the one that has 3. Yeah, contact. Yeah, delete it, please.
Are you really, really sure? So once it's deleted, it's Poll. She is Colleen Forbes' assistant, and she's been on board here. I'm going to pause the screen for a moment so that we could go into Colleen. How are you today, Jackie?
I'm good. How are you, Annette?
We're great. Thank you so much for coming on board. Now, I know that Colleen has had the account for some time. Tell me, how long have you been working with Colleen?
Only for about a month now.
Nice. So there's a lot, no doubt, to learn about, her program.
Great,
so
great.
Tell me a little bit, how are you guys using the system currently?
Well, currently we have a couple campaigns set up, campaign drips where we will add the emails for potential franchise or agent leads, and we'll add them to. We add both of them to the same campaign list. Emails, they go out, I think, on like a weekly basis.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. So what's interesting is when I spoke to you last week, these are they're contacts within those records, but you'll notice that there's just no first and last names. You can see what from breathing, it's never going to be perfect. Brokers or regional owners, the biggest stumbling block is getting your contacts in. Okay, and I got to tell you, super easy to get them in. If you don't want to fuss with putting them in and you need some help over the phone, call us. We will happily help you get your contacts in. So that's really important. So what we see here, I'm going to click on Groups. In the groups for Colleen Forbes' account, she's got 13 total groups in the system. So that's really important. Here, and what you can do later is you can go into where it says find a contact, and that's where you can go in to see if there's any. Take a quick peek at Colleen's. You guys will see this in just a moment. And the website is www. I can see that Colleen does have her, Facebook on here, which is important. Just gives you another dimension to connect with your prospects. Okay, so let's just save what we have so far, and let's take a look. One of the things that we talked about last week, myself and Jackie, was taking a look at the campaigns, because Jackie did let me know, oh yeah, we're pretty active, various campaigns, which you'll see. These particular campaigns, so you'll see in just a moment. Currently what I see in this particular campaign called Sarasota Drip, Colleen has a total of 853 contacts receiving this campaign. Her total percentage of success is 12.45%. So it's pretty good, okay? What she also can see here is, Jackie can play an important role for Colleen, because what Jackie can do is she can, bring to Colleen's attention, hey, I've got, an interesting report to show you. Who's paying attention to do some follow-up calls for prospecting? She knows exactly who to reach out to first, so she can really maximize her time, okay? You'll also notice when they receive marketing materials using the product, okay? So it's a great way, campaigns home. So just to keep in, just to show you, to go where we can build a new campaign, and we're going to click on prospecting. Is excellent. I also talked to corporate about making the same campaign available to broker owners and to exit associates, and they have. So if you're talking to a potential, broker who wants to open up his own brokerage, his own exit brokerage, he or she can be, you can tell them that there are campaigns already created within the system. So if they're looking to grow their office, it's going to be such a turnkey process. All they need to do is just put their contacts within this campaign. The system will automatically market to those, those contacts. Now let's take a look. Here is female recruiting. So if you're looking for perhaps a potential, franchisee who's a female, there's nothing more empowering than sending that particular prospect marketing materials that speak to her. And in Promo Shop, you've got this great campaign that speaks to exit, associates and how they're really decide that you want other pieces, or if you want to remove some other pieces, or you want to add more activities, or you want to stretch out, perhaps make the days between shorter so you can schedule it to go out once a week or once every other week. It's completely your choice. You can add other pieces, you can take pieces out. The idea in which it's already been created for you eliminates the opportunity to have you create this particular campaign, because it's at the cost per person. You have that available in Promo Shop. You can choose multi-channel, and the most it's going to cost you is 80 cents per prospect, okay, every time that the piece is mailed. It's going to print it for you in a jumbo size format. It's going to laminate it on both sides. Your branding is on there automatically, and the product is going to laser address your contact information on these postcards. So be sure that you also include a mailing address for your particular prospect, okay? And of course, they send it first class postage for you. So you have your choice. If you do it by email, you have it by email. If you want to send it out by direct mail, you have direct mail. Or you can do a blend of both with multi-channel. So if you choose it by multi-channel, the first piece goes out by direct mail. 15 days later, the piece goes out automatically by email. The third piece goes out automatically by direct mail 15 days later. And then the product is going to shoot and ask you to schedule a phone call. The next piece will be delivered by email automatically. Remember, you can always control how the pieces go out. So here's just another opportunity for each of you. Have you seen these before, Jackie?
No, I haven't actually. I didn't know that.
Who are the most viable contacts that she has in her database, so that she can commit to perhaps sending something by mail consistently to just those high-level people. because then you're going to be able to surround them, not just send it out by email. Okay?
Right.
That's a great possibility for you. And you're right. I do hear that, you know, they had just had no idea that it was just so flexible, because you can go into this campaign and the opportunity for you. So again, in the campaign section, there's tremendous opportunity. So let's do this. Let's take this statement recruiting campaign, where we're going to show you how to post it to your website. So I'm not going to do this today. But again, let's focus on your campaigns that you have in the system. Number one, as we watched with Fernando, is select a campaign. There's lots of them to choose from. In the recruiting section, you'll see recruiting. You have female recruiting. You have the lifestyle recruiting. You have statement recruiting. These all have been exitized, okay? And we'll continue to add more to the system. You never pay for new content. So these particular campaigns are ready to go. But be sure that once you have active campaigns, franchise sales campaign, she's got a total of 581 contacts receiving this. Her next piece actually goes out tomorrow on the 4th of October. Let's take a quick peek. We'll go to the contacts report, and we're able to see this particular campaign. She's got a 12.2 per, okay? Because as you can see, you get an understanding of who they are. You might have better suggestions for subject lines for this particular audience. I'm going to show you how you can change the subject lines. So we're going to click on that campaign, New Franchise Sales, and we're going to go to Manage Delivery Options, okay? When we click on Manage Delivery Options, so the New Franchise Sales campaign, so the first one says Why Exit. Do you see that in the gray section?
Yeah.
You can actually go into that campaign and you can adjust the subject line. Maybe if Colleen has a significant presence in her area, maybe if you include her name in the subject line, even though they're going to see immediately that it's coming from her, because it's coming from her email address. But if there's Why Exit with a question mark, you know, discover the exit advantage from Colleen Forbes. You know, that might pique someone's interest much more than just Why Exit. Modify what the campaign subject lines are going to be, because that will definitely, you know, adjust your open rates. So that might be something that you guys can do together.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions that you might have, Jackie, about Colleen's account?
Because I was really interested in seeing the contacts reports and the campaign reports and everything. So that was my main thing.
You got it.
But yeah, thank you for showing that to me, because
it's
it's always nice to add your own touch to everything.
Absolutely. And see, for those of you that are also, for the others that are on the call, think about this. You know, Colleen has Jackie on the call so that she could learn all she can. Chances are there are other regional owners who are on the call who perhaps also have a support person who should be participating on this calls as well. I highly encourage that you invite them to come onto the call next week so that they can proactively, you know, really do appreciate your time on the call today, Jackie. I'm going to go ahead and mute your line for now, but thank you so much. We really do. 3, it's our final session in the 3-week series, and what we're going to cover on the same, you know, we're going to do this on Monday at the same time. We're going to cover adding recruitment to your website or social media. This is huge. Do you know that right now there are only 2 regional owners, okay, 2 regional owners throughout the Exit Realty network who actually have automatically, because we got to get real for a moment. There are going to be prospects that you're going to be communicating to who are very interested in learning a little bit more, but quite frankly, they want anonymity. They don't want to be found out yet, okay? And so, you know, what they will often do is they'll go to your website. They'll want to sign up for information. They're going to give you at least a name and an email address. They can give you a phone number if they want to. But once they sign up, I'm going to show you how you can take that automatic email. When that lead signs up, the PromoShop system is going to take that lead and place it right into your database at PromoShop. It's going to alert you that you just acquired a new lead, and it's going to take that lead and place them into this campaign so that your marketing goes out. Really exciting to show you the possibilities of next week's call. I hope that you join me. Now you can see a view of other of the attendees that have been on the call at the end of the series so that you can go back and you can review the content. All right? So we hope that you join us. Let's take a look. We've got a quick question. John says, I have a question. Okay, go ahead, John. Type it in and let me know what that is. Type it in on the all right, John, go ahead and type in on the right-hand side your question. Thank you. Okay, so John wants to know, he says, I am starting a social media campaign. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, you can definitely do that. Next week, what we're going to do is we're going to cover exactly on how to take that campaign from PromoShop and post it onto your website as well as social media. It's huge. So visitors log in, and next week we start on time so that we can end on time. I appreciate having Fernando Campos on the call as well as Jackie Pohl. You guys have been phenomenal. You're real people learning how to use the systems and tools. Actual application is really important, and I just appreciate